What if I told you there was a unit so secretive that most Americans have seen their work, but almost none of them know who they are or what they're even called? A unit that does not kick in doors first, does not hold terrain, and does not stick around to take credit. They arrive at night and they leave before sunrise, and if everything goes correct, you'll never hear about them at all. This is the story of the 160th Night Stalkers. The 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment is one of the most secretive units in the US military, and here's the part that most people get wrong when you think of aviation. They're not Navy, they're not Air Force. This is an Army unit. Army pilots, Army crew chiefs, Army standards. But they do not fly like conventional Army. Their entire purpose is to move special operation forces into places where failure is not acceptable and escape is never guaranteed. In this video, I'll cover what we know about the highly classified unit and tell you about one of the most dangerous battles of the war in Afghanistan that was fought at 10,000 feet in freezing darkness with helicopters barely able to stay in the air. If you can guess what battle I'm talking about, drop it in the comments, and before I get to it, I'll send you a hoagie if you're right. The 160th exists because the US military failed. In 1980, an attempt to rescue American hostages from Iran collapsed in the desert. Aircraft broke down, crews were not trained to operate together, night flying capabilities were insufficient. 8 Americans died before the mission ever reached the objective. That failure forced a hard lesson. You can have the best operators in the world, but without aviation crews built specifically for special operations, the mission never starts. So the Army built the unit that became the 160th. Now, from day one, this was not about transport. It was about precision under pressure. Flying low, flying at night, landing where most pilots would never volunteer, leaving before anyone knows that you were there. And because the missions were unforgiving, the selection had to be unforgiving. And that's where Green Platoon comes in. It's about identifying who should never fly these missions at all. Long night flights, exhaustion, complex problems stacked on top of fatigue. They watch how you think when your brain is done. Can you make decisions when your body wants to quit? Can you communicate when stress spikes? Can you land perfectly when rushing would feel safer? It's looking for the best judgment, the best discipline, and the best crew mindset, because nobody flies alone in the 160th. Most don't make it. Now, if you pass, you earn the Night Stalker creed. Night Stalkers do not quit. And this isn't just a slogan, it's a requirement. So what do the Night Stalkers actually fly? Well, this is kind of difficult, so I'll talk about what is public, what's partially acknowledged, and what remains classified / complete speculation. First, what we know to be public. They fly helicopters you recognize. MH-47 Chinooks, MH-60 Blackhawks, MH-6 and AH-6 Little Birds. Now, these are not standard Army aircraft. Their Chinooks are built for extreme range and extreme altitude, extra fuel, advanced navigation systems, defense systems. They are designed to fly long distances at night and still fly their way back out. The Blackhawks are precision tools, tight landing zones, insertions, and extractions where other aircraft would never be cleared to go. And the Little Birds are exactly what they look like. Light, fast, exposed, built to land on rooftops and streets where helicopters are never supposed to touch down. That was the public side. Now let's go into what's partially acknowledged and what is talked about probably at bars if you get lucky enough to drink with one of these people. The real difference is what you don't see. The custom avionics, the navigation, the communication systems, the electronic warfare capabilities. These systems are never fully described in public, and for good reason, but it is the biggest differentiator between these helicopters and the helicopters that you find in the typical fleet or standard Army. You know they exist, we just don't know how they work. And now finally, let's talk about what's rumored and speculated. The 160th has flown aircraft that technically don't officially exist. We know this because during the 2011 raid on bin Laden, a stealth modified helicopter crashed inside the compound. The aircraft was flown by the Night Stalkers. It had radar reducing features, unique design elements, technology that we've never seen in conventional helicopters. How many of them exist? Are they still flown today? That remains completely classified. But the largest piece of public information is that these pilots are legends within their own field, and they are the absolute best of the best and the biggest differentiator. And that matters, because even the most advanced aircraft in the world cannot compensate for phenomenal skills under pressure. Which brings us to Afghanistan. March 2002, Operation Anaconda. High altitude, freezing temperatures, thin air that robs helicopters of lift, and men of oxygen. On a ridgeline called Takur Ghar, everything goes wrong. A helicopter attempts to insert a team onto the mountain. Enemy fighters are already positioned above them. The aircraft takes heavy fire. In the chaos, a SEAL falls from the helicopter onto the mountaintop. Now, the mission changes. This is a rescue mission. A rescue helicopter is dispatched to go in. On board is Air Force Combat Controller John Chapman. As the helicopter approaches the landing zone, it is hit again. Chapman is wounded. The aircraft pulls away, and in the confusion, Chapman is left behind, alone, injured, and surrounded by enemy fighters at over 10,000 feet. For a moment, he is presumed dead, but he is not. Chapman regains consciousness. Bleeding, injured, outnumbered, exposed. Instead of hiding, he fights. For more than an hour, Chapman engages enemy fighters by himself. He moves under fire. He kills multiple attackers. He directs airstrikes dangerously close to his own position, all while knowing no one is coming for him yet. And while Chapman is fighting for his life on that mountain, the air war does not stop. The Night Stalkers keep pushing. MH-47 Chinooks push back towards the ridgeline. The aircraft are operating at the edge of performance. Thin air, heavy loads, steep approaches, and enemy fire from above. One helicopter is badly damaged during the insertion attempt and barely escapes crashing into the mountain. Others are forced to turn back, but they keep flying because Americans are still on that ridgeline. Chapman's actions buy time. Time for the aircraft to regroup, time for forces to maneuver, time for the rescue to succeed. And Chapman, unfortunately, has to fight until his last breath. Now, for his actions, he was awarded the Medal of Honor. But that battle was not held together by one man alone. It was held together by crews who kept flying into a place that was actively trying to kill them, by people who knew every approach could be their last, and they went anyway. One man on the ground refusing to quit, and crews in the air refusing to stop. That is why the Army built the 160th. That is why the Green Platoon is unforgiving, because when everything goes wrong at 10,000 feet, quitting is not an option for anyone involved. Now, if you want more stories about the units that operate where mistakes are paid for immediately, let me know in the comments. And if you want more deep dives, please give it a like and subscribe.